Hi guys, we're going to go ahead and start with our ratio table notes today. So you're going to get a sheet that looks like this. Go ahead and just fold it in half, hamburger style, and then you can go ahead when we're done, glue the back of it inside your notebook. So let's take a look at this. Go ahead and open it up to the very first page. At the very top, it has some vocab there for you. So a ratio table is a way to compare quantities. Okay, so ratio table is a way to compare quantities. In your ratio table, it's always going to be equivalent ratios. Number one, let's start with the first example. Todd earns $3 for every 5 chores he completes on his chore chart. Find equivalent ratios using the ratio table below. Okay, so our chart or our table is already labeled chores to total. So the first thing we're going to put in our first two boxes is what the ratio is in the example. So I know that he gets $3, so I'm going to put my 3 over here in the dollar total section for every 5 chores. So I'm going to go ahead and put a 5 there. So our first ratio from chores to total would be 5 to 3. And I'm going to go ahead and use a colon for these examples. However, if you wanted to use a fraction bar, if you wanted to write the words, you could. But this one, I'm just going to use the colon. Now, to get my next two boxes, I'm going to go ahead and multiply by 2. Okay, so I'm going to have, if I multiply by 2 on this side, that means I have to multiply by 2 on the other side. So 5 times 2 would give me 10, and then 3 times 2 would give me 6. So this equivalent ratio would be for every 10 chores, he would earn $6. Okay? So when I write my ratio over here, I can either write it 10 to 6, or I know I could simplify that even more, right? So if I multiply by 2, I know if I could divide both of these numbers by 2, I would get back to my ratio of 5 to 3. Then for the next two blanks, since I multiply this one by 2, I'm going to go ahead and multiply my original ratio by 3. So 5 times 3 would give me 15. And if I multiply by 3 on that side, I have to multiply by 3 on the other side. And I'm using my original ratio, guys. So 3 times 3 would be 9. So for every 15 chores, I would earn, or Todd would earn, $9. So then my ratio over here would be 15 to 9. And I know I could simplify that ratio back down to 5 to 3, because if I divided both of these numbers by 3. And then you guessed it, to get the next two blanks, we go back to our original ratio, and since we've multiplied by 2, we've multiplied by 3, we're going to go ahead and multiply by 4 on this side, which means we have to multiply by 4 on the other side. So 5 times 4 would give us 20, and 3 times 4 would give us 12. So then my ratio over here from chores to total would be 20 to 12. And I could go ahead and simplify that ratio down to 5 to 3 if I divided both of those numbers by 4. And then the very last one, I go back to my original ratio and I'm going to multiply it by 5. If I do it on that side, I have to do it to the other side. So 5 times 5 would give me 25. 3 times 5 would give me 15. So for every 25 chores, I would earn $15. And then again, I could simplify that ratio down to 5 to 3 by dividing both of those numbers by 5. So there, our table, our chart is complete. So now let's go ahead and look at some of these questions down below. How are the number of chores and the amount of money earned related? So what we're looking for is for every 5 chores Todd completes, he earns $3. Okay, so no matter what, every 5 chores he earns another $3. B, how are the values in the chores column related? So just looking over here at these, do you notice what the pattern might be? Yeah, you're right. They're increasing the chores are increasing by 5. Every time the chores are increasing by 5. So he's earning those $3. How are the values in the total column related? So the total money column related. The total money earned is increasing by $3, no matter what. Okay, and then the last one, what do you notice about the ratio column? So we're talking this one over here. When I was finished with all of my ratios, what did you guys notice? Go ahead and pause the video, take a guess, and then come back and see if you're right. All right, if you paused, you should have noticed that all the ratios simplify to 5 chores to every $3. That's what we're looking for. That every ratio turned out to be 5 to 3. And that makes sense because they're equivalent ratios. All right, let's take a look at your last example down here, number 2. It says, Mr. Baker is making pancakes and reads the recipe on the back of the pancake box. Use the information in the table to determine the ratio of the cups of pancake mix to cups of water. Okay, so this chart is already filled out for you. That's really nice. So we need to find out what the constant ratio is, or what the scale factor is, or what the multiplier is. What is it doing every single time? Okay, so if we look at the cups of pancake mix, what's going on from each cup? Go ahead and pause the video and take a guess. Okay, if you come back, you will say that there is 1 cup of pancake mix, 2, and then down here is a different ratio. So if we look from this one to this one, to this one, to this one, to this one, we're actually going by a different scale factor. This one is per every 1.5 cups of water. Okay, so what is the constant ratio? 1 cup of pancake mix to 1.5 cups of water. And you can even write it like that, if that helps you visualize it a little bit. So then the question is, how many cups of pancake mix will be needed if there are 15 cups of water? Well, they didn't put 15 cups of water on your chart, so we need to set up a proportion. Okay, and how we set up a proportion is that we take the ratio that we have come up with, so 1 over 1.5, and we're going to draw an equivalent ratio to that.
Tom Carr, please come to the airlock area.
So we set up our first ratio that was given to us in the chart, and now we need to put our labels to make sure we do the right labels on the right line. So top one, I'm going to put PM for pancake mix, and on the bottom I'm going to put a W for water. Okay, so now we're looking for 15 cups of water. So I know that the other equivalent ratio has to have water on the bottom and pancake mix label on the top. So I'm going to go ahead and fill in 15 because we're looking for 15 cups of water. And then we have to see, how did I get from 1.5 cups of water to 15 cups of water? Go ahead and pause the video and take a guess. If you come back, you'll realize that we multiplied by 10. We multiplied 1.5 by 10 to get 15 cups of water. And if we multiply by 10 on the bottom, we have to multiply by 10 on the top. So 1 times 10 would give us 10 cups of pancake mix. And that is our missing one. 10 cups of pancake mix. Alright, you guys, that is all the examples we have for this video in your notes. So go ahead and you can go ahead and glue this in the back of your notebook and make sure it's in a safe place, and you can start on your ratio tables homework.